Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday, the 24th of May, 2021. I hope you're all healthy, COVID-free, that your family is healthy, and that you're all safe and your needs are being met. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, trying to save lives, those that are risking their own in this disease-infested time in which we live, and trying to help those that cannot help themselves. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage, those that make deliveries. Double blessings on those seeking to deliver men and women, boys and girls from the clutches of sex slave operations. Also, blessings upon those that are helping the homeless, men, women, children, families, veterans, 500 plus thousand in the United States, and the numbers are increasing, as well as millions around the world. Blessings upon those trying to help that situation, and blessings upon those people, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game yesterday. Our New York Knicks played its first playoff game in many years against the Atlanta Hawks. The 4-5 game, which is this series, the Knicks were the fourth seed, and Atlanta's the fifth seed, is always the most competitive because the two teams that are closest in record, and they're in the same conference. And so this is what we expect. We knew coming into this series that this is going to be a war. This series is not going to be 6 games or a sweep or anything like that. And so it was going to be and will be a war between the two teams. So that's what it was. It was a 2-point loss for the Knicks, but I am not discouraged by the loss, and we'll go into why, the various reasons in a minute. But one of the things that is a detriment in the New York media market is the hype. The media itself, the newspaper, the internet, social media, and of course the fans and the radio and all of the outlets, like your ESPNs, they extremely hype for the playoffs, but especially this is true in New York. This is great in terms of attention on our team, but the problem is that when you lose in such a situation where the hype was so high, the letdown is also great. And so you get people thinking, oh, the Knicks are going to get swept now because they lost a 2-point game to the Hawks, and people overreact to the game. First off, we need to understand this is the playoffs. It's going to be tight. It's going to be hotly contested. Nobody's going to give an inch. And this is the 4-5 series. So, the Knicks and the Hawks are going to battle it out. This is going to be tough all the way around, all the way through. Okay, so don't expect, any blowouts. If you see one, it's going to be an anomaly. It's not something that you're going to get here. So you're going to get a grinded out, tough series here. It's probably going to go 7 games, which is good that the Knicks are not only playing Atlanta, which we go to Atlanta and get a lot of fans too, but we're playing home court advantage in the Garden. So this is going to come to play here. With regard to this particular game, the stats were very close as the game showed. It was a close game. A 2-point game could be won or lost on any possession, on any minor thing. I want to say, and I respect obviously Tom Thibodeau immensely. I'm glad he's the Knicks coach. He's a great coach. He's a defensive genius. But I felt like he really should have put Frank Ntilikina on Trae Young for more than 32 seconds of the game. And he puts him in the game with 1 possession left, like less than 10 seconds or 20 seconds to guard, Trae Young. That should have been something he was doing. Frank should be in the rotation here, because I feel like you put a guy like him on Trae Young. Trae Young's numbers yesterday, he scored most of his points in the fourth, and the dagger was on Frank when Frank was guarding him in the fourth quarter, but Frank had just got off the bench. You can't just pull guys like that off the bench and say, guard him, stop him. You got to give him some time, especially in the playoffs. But Trae Young was 11 to 23. He scored 32 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists. His numbers look good. He wouldn't have had those numbers if Frank was guarding him the whole game. Okay? He wouldn't have had those numbers. Not only it was a combination of that, and he played Elfrid Payton for 8 minutes, and it's a waste of time to have Elfrid Payton on the floor. It's just a waste of time. If you're going to play him, play him. If you're not going to play him, just don't play him. Okay? Do something else. So those two things were the two things that stood out. And the reason I bring out and I'm nitpicking about that is because it was a 2-point game. Okay, it was a 2-point game, so everything was close. The Atlanta Hawks shot 12 of 34 from three. The Knicks shot 10 of 30 from three. The Atlanta Hawks got 42 rebounds. The Knicks out rebounded them, got 49 rebounds, including 13 on the offensive end. The Atlanta Hawks only had 17 assists. The Knicks had 21 assists. It was a very close game. Okay, in the free throws, the Atlanta Hawks was 11 of 12. From the free throw line. And the Knicks didn't shoot bad, but they were 11 for 15. Two more free throws, and, that game is tied. So it's a tight game. And all of the games are going to be like that. This game, also, as we saw, Julius Randle struggled. 6 of 23. But you know what? They're going to key on him. This is the playoffs. They're not going to let him do anything he's used to doing. He wasn't getting any of his shots that he was used to getting. And he was a little tight on top of it. I expect him to break out of that, probably for the next game. They're not going to continue to do that with him. I mean, they're going to try, but he's too good. So that's going to happen. And then Bullock was 3 of 9. But the two players that did show up, and Barrett was 6 of 15. He played a good game. Burks, of course, him and Rose MVPs of the game, because both of those guys were balling out. Rose and Burks. Burks ended up with 27 points. Rose ended up with 17 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Burks had 9 rebounds. Burks had 3 rebounds, but they were both balling out, and they played heavy minutes. You expect Burks to play heavy minutes. He played 26 though, and Rose played 37. I'm expecting Burks' minutes to go up more, and Payton's minutes should just disappear. And you should be adding about 10 minutes or 12 minutes a game with Frank Ntilikina at least on Trae Young. To me, that's what you need to do if you want to win, because as much as D Rose is playing his butt off, he could not guard Trae Young. Okay, he cannot. This is the playoffs, yo. Now, neither can Trae Young guard him, which I can understand that. So you attack him when he's on defense, because you can't guard him either. You can't. Trae Young can't guard anybody on the Knicks. So you try to exploit double teams, and you get somebody on Trae Young. But we gotta do a better job. And the thing is that it's not like Trae Young is some guy that can't be stopped. I mean, he's a tremendous player. Don't get me wrong, offensive juggernaut. But Frank can lock him up. He's shown it. So we need to, take advantage of that, I think, going forward. I would really like to see Coach Thibodeau take advantage of that going forward. This all crap about, we're trying to win now. Okay, and this is going to be a war. And so with all of that, though, with Julius Randle going 6 for 23, with Reggie Bullock shooting 0 for 5 from 3. 0 for 5 for Reggie Bullock from 3. And we still only lost by 2 points. Okay, that's what I'm saying. We played a terrible game in some aspects of our game, and we still only lost by 2 points. Now, whereas look on the Atlanta side, we already discussed Trae Young. John Collins was 5 of 9, 7 boards, 12 points, 2 of 4 from 3. DeAndre Hunter was 1 of 4 from 3. He didn't play that great. But Clint Capella, 13 rebounds, 4 offensive, 4 of 7 from the field. Bogdanovich was 4 of 9 from 3. I mean, we got to play better perimeter defense against this team. Kevin Huerter had 8 points. He was 1 of 4 from 3. Tony Snell was 1 of 2 from 3. Gallinari was 1 of 7. So we did all right, but we got to do better. Bogdanovich, we know what he's coming with. We know he could shoot the rock. Okay, that's why, again, you got to put a Frank on Trae Young so you don't have to worry about doubling Trae Young. You got to have Bullock on Bogdanovich, period. Okay, so they shot collectively, very well. But I don't expect that, especially they started very well. They started hot, in the first quarter. But I don't expect that all the games. I think the Knicks are going to counter that. And this is what the playoffs are about. You're playing the same team. So you're going to, it's a chess match. You're going to counter, so the Knicks are going to counter that. So, and they still only won by 2 points on the last possession. Okay. So I think we're in good shape. From what I saw yesterday, I I loved the Knicks defense on Atlanta overall. I just thought they should have did a better job on Bogdanovich and Trae Young. Like I said, I'm not saying these guys can really play. And we know Bogdanovich has been shooting at a high level for at least half of the season. He's really on a streak since he came back from injury. He's been, in the top 5, I'd say, shooters in the NBA. He's been really deadly, especially from 3 points. Bogdanovich is a tremendous shooter, but they can be stopped. They don't have to hurt us like that. They can be stopped. We got the defense, we got the players, we got the talent to stop them. Okay, so overall, like I said, I think we should really. Tom's got to make an adjustment with Elfrid Payton. We got to really 8 minutes, 0 for 3, -2. He had 1 assist, and he wasn't guarding Trae Young. Really, come on, we got to really do something about this here. This is my problem I got right now. So I'm hoping he makes an adjustment. This is what these playoffs are about: adjustments. Make an adjustment. I don't care who he starts. Just don't make it be Elfrid Payton. Okay, I don't care who he starts. Really, he could start Derrick Rose. He could start Alec Burks. I don't care who he starts, as long as it's not Elfrid Payton. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And he needs to give Frank more time to guard Trae Young instead of 32 seconds if he wants to really get some effective defense. All right. So, but I'm not disheartened. I still believe the Knicks are going to win this series in 7 games. It's going to be a tightly contested series, unless somebody gets hurt. But it's going to be a tightly contested series. I don't like how Trae Young was running his mouth after he hit that big shot in the Garden. Okay. And I'm glad he did, because now he just gave us, bulletin board fodder for the next game. And you know what? It's going to be on. I'm very confident that Julius and Reggie and RJ are going to come to play. They didn't come to play yesterday, but he shouldn't have ran his mouth like that. So I'm very much looking forward to Wednesday night when they come back and play in the Garden again. So yeah, most teams when they come in the playoffs in their the lower seed, they're looking for a split. In the first the homestand of the opposite team. That's what Atlanta's looking for. They're probably going to get the split. The Knicks, I'm expecting them to win Wednesday night. So it's going to be a split. And then you go back to Atlanta, right? Which is the second home team for the Knicks. Aside from Brooklyn. So there you go. Anyway, yeah. So this game was tightly contested. Don't lose heart. It's not like the end of the world that Atlanta's going to win this series. No. It was a 2-point win. It was a good win. They grounded out. They won. Okay. We got to learn from this experience. Come back and bring it again on Wednesday night. Hopefully Tom makes the necessary adjustments so that we can win this game. I hope you all have a good week. Until then, be safe out there. Shalom.